All right, chat. So there's a few things or so. Apparently there's something about anime being outlawed or so somewhere in Texas or something like that. And then apparently, like, you guys told me about the Lilo and Stitch thing. Something about the, like, saying like, hey Nyaru, have you seen the Lilo and Stitch thing? I'm like, no, I have not actually. I didn't even know they were making a live action Lilo and Stitch movie, to be honest. But we can take a look at it and take a look and see what Rev says Desu about it. I'd be curious what it is.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So we all know it's been a very rough time for Disney as of late, especially when it comes to their live action films. Currently, the next project to release for Disney is their live action Snow White film, and we all know the backlash surrounding that film and the very low expectations for its box office numbers.
Dude, honestly, I keep seeing more controversy about the Snow White video than the trailer itself, you know. I've never seen advertisement or like the trailers for the Snow White thing. But I've seen a lot of controversy about the Snow White thing.
And right now, Disney could really use a win, and I think they actually got one for once. So recently they released the trailer for their live-action Lilo and Stitch. And if you're like me, I really enjoyed the animated film growing up and still enjoy it to this day. And you can see something crazy is going on here. The reception is actually largely positive. It's been a while since we've seen positive reception on a trailer for a Disney film, especially a live-action one.
Is it really that good? Is it? Question mark?
See. 151,000 likes versus 20,000 dislikes, about an 85% like-dislike ratio, which is absolutely great for a Disney live-action film, especially when you compare it to one of the recent ones they've released, like the Snow White live-action trailer that has a 97% dislike ratio and growing. But you can look at the comments. It kind of makes sense why people are receiving this so well. The top comment saying, meet Stitch. Dude, I met him 30 years ago. Capitalizing on nostalgia, that's a great thing. Thank God they cast mostly unknowns instead of shoving in a bunch of celebrities and cameos for the sake of celebrity marketing. This actually gives me a slight bit of hope this movie might have some soul. I'm just glad Chris Sanders is still voicing Stitch. Literally no other person could do it better.
Oh, really? Like they still have the, is that the same voice actor or so for Stitch? Wow, they still actually have, wow, damn, that's crazy.
Doesn't even look like modern day Disney slop. It
actually I haven't done the I can do the Stitch voice because a certain friend of mine, she used to do the Stitch voice and she taught me how to do the Stitch voice. But yeah, I can do the Stitch voice. Now I can't do it perfectly because I haven't done it in like forever, but yeah.
He looks faithful to the OG. Incredible. This is the first Disney live-action remake I'm actually excited for. So you can see, you're hard-pressed to find negative comments on this trailer because, well, it just looks fun, and that's something that is not to be understated. However, there is controversy existing on social media, and a lot of it has to do with the casting selection for these live-action counterparts.
What's wrong? What am I?
And also some of the creative choices in the trailer that may slightly depart from the animated film. But you can see social media is going to focus on several castings in particular, much more than others, and it really involves Lilo and Nani. But because there's a couple controversies to spot out in this trailer, we're going to watch it together, and whenever we get to a point that is causing hysteria on social media, we will pause and look at some of the viral tweets complaining about those particular moments. So, let's begin.
We have apprehended a dangerous experiment. Where is he?
He escaped.
He's trying to find the police cruisers.
He took the red one.
So far, Stitch looks great. A lot of people They enjoy the design of Stitch. Honestly, kind of reminds me of the second version of the Sonic design for that live action that people seem to really like.
This planet is caught in your crosshairs.
Shooting star!
So of course that is Lilo. I think a very appropriate casting. She's a native-born Hawaiian, which is exactly what people are demanding of this film, by the way. And also, based on interviews with this child actress, she seems very well spoken for her age, and also just seems like a very wholesome young person. And how is that treated on social media? Well, there's people complaining about this actress and the fact that she was selected. Yes, they are literally going.
Why? But why? But why? What seems to be the issue? I don't get it. What seems to be the issue? I don't see anything wrong with it.
After a child actor for their appearance in this film. But we'll wait and talk about the Lilo controversy once we get to the Nani controversy in just a moment.
I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
What the hell?
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
Okay, so here's Nani, played by an actress who many people are very upset about. Her name is Sydney. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head. I want to butcher it. But basically, people have been fuming about this choice of actress since day one, since it was announced publicly. This is something we saw as far back as 2023. People were pulling up old photos of her, trying to find the whitest ones, even in some cases.
Wow, the most whitest one. Okay, I see. It's like they're trying to find old photos of her in the most whitest possible. Okay, now I see where this is going. Okay.
Upping the brightness on the photos to try to make her look more white than the photo actually displayed. We saw comments like this back in 2023 and 2024 saying this side by side is so effing painful. Okay? And now, fast forward to 2025, and after the release of this trailer a few days ago, people are continuing this narrative, and it's absolutely insane. So this tweet, and I think the user has now deleted it and gone
Hey, Majin
private
Buu.
because they got almost 10,000 likes and a lot of attention I guess they couldn't handle. They say this: Lilo and Nani aren't supposed to be light-skinned. This is what they're supposed to look like. Colorism is really outrageous, bruh. So before we talk about Nani, like I said, they're going after the actress playing Lilo, who is a child and also a native-born Hawaiian, who, by the way, I don't know what they're seeing where they're saying she's light-skinned. She definitely does not appear light-skinned to me whatsoever. Maybe I'm seeing things wrong, but...
Man, people are blind as fuck, dude, if they think that's light skin. Shit. If that's supposed to be light skin, damn, I must be white as fuck then. Shit, man. I guess I'm white. I guess I'm white, chat. If that's supposed to be light skin, if she's supposed to be light skin, then I'm fucking white over here. I'm the whitest bitch around from California then.
To me, I have no idea why there's that complaint for Lilo. Then you have Nani, and these people are going absolutely insane. Here's another tweet saying the actress for Lilo is so perfect, while they got that white woman playing Nani. Yep, everyone has determined that she is a white woman and they're not hearing anything else in response. Well, if you do a little bit of research, we never get anything from the actress herself, Sydney Agudong, but instead we get some public comments from her younger sister, who is blood related, so obviously has the same makeup as Sydney, who's playing Nani, and she has stated that she is, on the one side, her mother's side, Caucasian, but on the other side, her father is a mix of Filipino and Polynesian descent, and both of these sisters were born in Hawaii. So you have a Hawaiian-born actress playing Nani who's also half Filipino and Polynesian, but she's white, according.
Okay. Man, dude, these people are so, like, they must be blind as hell, to be honest, if they actually think that's supposed to be white. Yeah, but she doesn't look white. That's the problem. That's the problem, Majin Buu. They don't even look white.
Twitter, and they are not hearing anything else. They have determined she is white with a spray-on tan, and they won't hear anything else. And here's some more tweets complaining about this. So instead of casting a brown-skinned Polynesian girl as Nani, they cast this white girl
DJ.
and painted
Damn,
her
thank for tier 2.
brown. Yep, very stunning and brave, locking the replies here. And also, they would hide all of the comments contesting this, not only pointing out that Disney has made castings where black people were playing white characters, and they want to know the difference here, even if this is simply a white actress playing Nani, which it's not. They have people pointing out that she was born in Hawaii and that she has Polynesian and Filipino within her bloodline here, and just not good enough. These people don't want to hear it. They put it immediately in the hidden replies, and then you see this individual, right, who made this tweet. They have the actress who played the live-action Little Mermaid, so they're overlooking that choice. They're clearly okay with a black actress playing Ariel, and they also are reposting promotional material for the Snow White live-action film. So obviously, as people have pointed out, they're okay with these sorts of swaps in other movies where white characters are being replaced with either a black actress or someone like Rachel Zegler, who I believe is from South America or has South American lineage. And they think
she's from South America and she acts like that or so when she got the role or so for Snow White. Damn, dude, that's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy, dude. There's a lot of people who'd be grateful or so to get the role for Snow White. And then this bitch had to open her mouth and ruin everything about the movie itself. Crazy. If I was her mom, I'd slap her upside the head. Like, literally. I would go to the red carpet and literally, like, pull on her ear and everything. The way how she's, like, been so disrespectful.
That's fine. And they've told you over and over again, skin color doesn't matter for these characters, and if you have an issue with these castings, you're a racist. But all of a sudden, they have a huge problem with a Hawaiian-born, mixed-race person playing Nani in Lilo and Stitch. They're absolute massive hypocrites, and I think it is quite obvious. But let's go back to the trailer. So that's the main controversy. That is the casting.
I'm like, bro, she looks so tanned. I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
The actress playing Nani.
Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
Get down from there!
Rough.
Did I just have a slight giggle at a Disney trailer in the year 2025? Do I have a grin on my...
Yeah, because like she disrespected. Yeah, because she disrespected of the Snow White itself, like the story and everything. You know.
Face. Wow. I'm having fun watching a trailer. How about you guys?
Stitch that.
When you guys are mean to me on social media, that's what I look like, by the way, so deal with that.
Sometimes
Hope you're
family
proud.
isn't perfect. That doesn't mean they aren't good.
Family.
That was close. I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
Controversy. We can see this tweet right here. Someone saying, can someone please find me one person who prefers the image on the left to the image on the right. And this has 131,000 likes. So I guess if it's not a complete one-by-one shot, people...
They're really complaining about a shot or so that someone created by hand compared to someone doing it IRL? You're joking, right? Wow, that's crazy. Now you're just kind of stretching it pretty thin there, you know? And like so far the trailer seems pretty interesting, you know? It's, I remember some of the stuff or so from the Stitch movie. Yeah, the waves that it's not curling. It's not curling enough. Safety first is a thing. I guess so. I guess they don't want that. Apparently they want this exact same thing in real life. Apparently they want this shit, you know? Even though this was drawn by hand and this is the real world here. This is the real world.
People are going to be very angry. This is a very bizarre take that gets a lot of support, but look at the responses down here. This is not giving Lilo's big sis like, okay, once again, I don't really see a crazy difference here. And again,
I see.
They're trying their best here. But then this user says, they calling this a tan like it doesn't look like she just rolled around in some mud before this scene. 122 likes. Basically saying her skin color looks like mud.
These people are crazy. Straight up crazy. But at the end of the day, right, these are just Twitter people, you know? These are just Twitter people. These Twitter people are crazy people. They're mentally ill.
Not even racists can come up with stuff like this. This is crazy how Twitter users
It's
act.
funny because it's a black girl that's saying that too as well. That's the funny thing about it, you know? It's literally a black girl saying that.
Again, too, this complicates things because they're all trying to say, on the one hand, her skin is so pale, she's so white. Then on the next hand, they're saying, well, her skin's dark, but it's just a fake tan. And in this case, I guess, rolled around in some mud. Which is it? I mean, they can't even figure out exactly how they are outraged over this stuff. But Twitter acting like a bunch of race-obsessed weirdos and attacking people for that.
Agent Cobra Bubbles, we have a blue dog to catch.
Okay, let me go back.
Agent Cobra Bubbles, we have a blue dog to catch.
Now, I think this is a pretty good casting, but if they had Terry Crews, I think that would have been next level, but...
I don't know about Terry Crews, to be honest. In my personal opinion. I don't know, what do you guys think, chat? I think giving like new actors a shot or so is probably a little bit more better in my personal opinion. It kind of breathes in new life or so in the whole movie industry, you know, bringing in some like new faces instead of always bringing the same people over and over and over again, you know. But that's just my personal opinion. But that's my personal opinion, though.
Not bad, not bad.
No, wait!
Hey, DI.
Now, in the last 5 seconds or so since the last pause, I know so many pauses, what was the controversy that Twitter's going to dredge out of that? Which one? Oh, well, whatever you said, you were probably right, but
What?
that was singular. There was actually multiple controversies in the last 5 seconds. Let's begin with the first one. People very upset about the portrayal of these aliens, saying, look what they've done to our diva. This getting 356,000 likes because they have removed the cross-dressing disguise from the character Pleakley. Now, another tweet here would say, Pleakley having a human form and not cross-dressing is a sign of rising fascism, by the way.
Man, dude. Everyone loves to throw that word fascism quite a lot, don't they, huh?
217,000 likes.
They love
Now,
throwing that word
this person
around.
said they're trying to make a joke here, and they're also not wanting people to agree with them. But given the number of likes, I think a lot of people genuinely believe the message, even if it was a joke. But here's one that's not joking. So quoting this first look at Pleakley, this person says, erasing Pleakley's drag and substituting it for human suits is bad because Disney wants to appease transphobes. But it's also bad because it completely misses the joke. I get it, it's probably a budget thing, but the whole point is that Jumba and Pleakley's disguises are terrible. Now, this got 143,000 likes, and I think it's pretty misguided. Do they genuinely believe this is an attempt to appeal transphobes? I don't know. I don't know how we got to this point, but here's the very important thing. If there was a conscious decision to do that, to rid this sort of theme this user is claiming, right? It's definitely not a budget thing. It's what this user's saying. They hit it right on the nose. Just rewatched the movie with my kid. The fact that he was an ugly woman was a running joke. If they'd put him in women's clothes and call him ugly, y'all would be upset about that. There's no pleasing you, so why even bother pandering?
True. Actually, very true. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, because if they would have put him in actual like women clothing or so, probably like, you know, the LGBT crew or so would probably get so upset or something like that. They'd probably get triggered. So it's like, how dare you, you know, but do this or so. Do you think we all look like this or something like that? Or how dare you? I'm fucking, Jesus Christ. What an actual bunch of dumb people, to be honest. They don't understand they don't understand what fascism actually is. Fascism should be called corporatism because this really corporate power. Even then, though, these people, it's because these people don't know how to read a book, you know, or open up a dictionary.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, if they had Pleakley's disguise, you know, this very ugly cross-dressing attempts, right? People would call that transphobia.
Yep.
100%. 100% that would be the case. People would be attacking Disney, saying they're having this transphobic caricature in Lilo and Stitch, and that they're making fun of trans people and stuff like that. I guarantee that would happen, okay? I know Twitter too well, so why even try pandering that stuff and go with your own creative route here, and I guess go with something a little more simple in this film and a little less controversial if that's what they're worried about. But the other controversy, I said there was two, is this one, the tourists. Okay, so this user says, to almost 200,000 likes, again, my god, can't make tourists look stupid, because how else will Disney be able to advertise their Lilo and Stitch Aloha Hawaii Adventure trademark cruise? Okay, I think that's a bit of a reach. Call me crazy, that might be a bit of a reach. Then down here, you can see the type of people liking these tweets and responding to them. I find it really interesting that all I said was tourist, and yet so many people think I'm specifically insulting white people. And basically every reply saying, well then who are you talking about? And this user says, you aren't taking my like back. Call me when it's time to insult white people. Dude, this...
Jesus Christ. That's gotta be racist. I you know what, I can never understand the whole point of, like, you know, being racist towards white people. I just really don't understand it whatsoever. I just don't get it. I really don't understand it. The whole point of being racist towards white people, dude. I really don't, or just insulting them or anything, you know? It makes no sense whatsoever.
This is Twitter. Nobody gets in trouble for making fun of white people. It's safe, edgy. And I would expect that from pronouns in bio, Black Lives Matter, ACAB, so on and so forth.
Is that a Majima freaking profile picture? Wow. I think that might be is that a Majima picture? That looks like Majima, or so at least like the older version of Majima.
Which is a common theme with probably 90% of the accounts we covered in this video. But let's
I could be
finish
wrong.
This trailer real quick.
Moo. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3, Stitch. 1.
All right. So that's the trailer, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, let me know how you feel about the trailer in the comment section, whether or not you're interested in this film or if you were dissuaded from checking
I thought
out
the trailer looked fine. I thought the trailer personally was really good. I don't know, in my personal opinion. I don't know. It's probably one of the better live action Disney movies as of recently. I was never really a fan of the live action Disney movies. I've never seen any of them, so well, it could be because like I never grew up with Disney, so I think the only Disney movie that we owned, I think it was like Sleeping Beauty, I think. Yeah, this is the one that we owned. The original one, the original cassette. We had the original cassette for this. I remember this. So now, do I remember it completely? No. But there are some iconic scenes that I remember, like that. I remember that. I remember this when he was dancing with the thing or so, and I remember what was it, Maleficent or so, turning into a dragon or so, or something like that. And I think Prince Charming or so was like racing down a bridge or something, and I think the bridge was breaking down, and I think she fell or something. I don't remember. It's been a long time, so I hardly remember anything about this movie. So yeah. Or not a cassette, a VHS tape. Yeah, VHS. Not a cassette. Well, yeah. Technically VHS thing. Yeah, this is the one I remember. Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, I remember he was like running down a bridge or something like that, and the dragon was there. That's what I kind of remember a little bit of that, so. VHS cassette? Oh, okay. Similar enough? Okay. All right. Just making sure. Because I know cassette is like for radios and stuff like that. VHS, tape or whatever, but whatever. Or VHS cassette or whatever. But yeah. But this is the one I remember. So. Like personally, this is the only Disney movie that I remember. That's about it. And then like I remember I don't know if this is from Disney. Let me see. I don't remember if this is is this a Disney movie? I don't even know. Yeah, this one, Homeward Bound. This is the one that I remember, with the pit bull and the golden retriever and the Siamese cat. Yeah, this was one of the movies that we had. We only saw the first one. We only had the first one. We never had I've never seen. I never even knew they made a second one, to be honest. So, but yeah. The first one is the one I remember. But yeah, I think those were the only 2 Disney movies I had. Oh, and let me see. And then this one. The 101 Dalmatians. The live action version of the 101 Dalmatians. I remember this one. I think those were the only 3 Disney movies that we actually had in our possession. And that was pretty much it, though. But yeah, I remember this movie. That was a good live action. Yeah, I actually enjoyed this live action. This was a really nice live action movie. Those were the only three. Those were the only three movies that we had specifically from Disney. And that was like pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I think the live action is pretty nice or so for this movie. I don't know. I don't really see it that serious at the end of the day. But anyways, you guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Will I watch it? Probably not. And the only reason why is because I don't have time to watch movies at the end of the day. But yeah. So Snow White can be Latina, but Nani ain't black enough. Bro, if they literally straight up think Nani is like white or so, I'm like if she's not even tanned or so, that doesn't consider as tan, I must be the most whitest bitch around here, to be honest. But anyways, like I said, that's the end of the video, and peace.